in heaven.
The message of the evening emphasized creation of a long-lasting legacy, as emphasized by retired Anglican Bishop Edward Muhima.
Obundo ho hati kundi bantakiroho abarubabaroho bariyamanyirahi ngunkabandoho. Literally in English, now that I am alive, when I finally die, how will those who remain behind remember that I lived?
This message was just in line with what NRM Historical recounted of Jacob Oulanyah as the man who not only said it, but did it.
Jacob has gone too early. Has gone too early because he was a rising star. He was unstoppable. Unfortunately, the criminal death has done its way. But he's a leader who was comfortably acceptable, no moral, a leader comfortably leading in Acholi, a leader with political authority and support in northern Uganda, and a leader who enjoyed national support.
We all are judged by what we have done in our contribution in impacting people. You can impact people negatively. You can cause so much death and destruction, but you can be a peacemaker like Jacob has done. You can be in parliament as speaker and there is chaos in parliament. He was saying no.
Former Prime Minister and presidential candidate John Patrick Amama Mbabazi spoke fondly of the fallen speaker.
We are all grieved that Oulanyah's awesome presence is with us no more. But we have pride because he was one of those people who made a difference to the lives of those around them. His understanding, his love, and care for others were apparent to anyone in his presence. So, as Bishop Muhima said here, Jacob has left an indelible mark that can't be erased by his demise.
Mbabazi described Oulanyah as a leader whose successors need to emulate.
Death can never take a good man away, for in the hearts of the people he inspired, the legacy remains and is continuous throughout generations.
Oulanyah's body is lying at his residence in Muyenga, from where it will be taken to Parliament for a special sitting in his honor on Tuesday. The head of state is expected to pay his respect on Wednesday at Kololo ceremonial grounds. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Meanwhile, the Acholi parliamentary caucus is demanding for a decent burial for the late speaker Jacob Lokori Oulanyah. The chairperson for Acholi parliamentary caucus, also Kilak County Member of Parliament Anthony Acholi, says if government cannot facilitate the burial, they should allow the Ugandans to contribute. Now, this was during a press conference that was held at the parliamentary buildings here in Kampala.
Using his own cows at home to feed the mourners when he was number 3 in the country. You are talking about how much money you need. The money we need is this amount. Whether it is possible to raise it or not, the willingness is too much. We are even taking long. If we had opened a line yesterday, by today it would be done. Many people have been calling me, sending text messages, send for us the telephone number, the mobile number that you are going to use. And I think from here, we are going to open a number. And we want to register with MTN, we register with Airtel, so that people can send the money. And you've seen the willingness from members of parliament.
So join my colleagues in saying that let government come out very clearly and we drop this issue of state burial. Then we bury in an official way. After all, he was a member of parliament. He deserves official burial, and that's what we can go with. 2, as members of parliament, as a people of Uganda, of goodwill, we are able to collect this money and give him a decent...
We are burying a politician. And this is not just an ordinary member of parliament like me, but a regional central executive chairman of the NRM party. All of you saw the effort Right Honorable put in northern Uganda to mobilize us. He packaged the information of development, of peace, of unity. That is why we voted. And as NRM, I am more pained as a...
Jacob Oulanyah is not just someone from Omoro. Jacob Oulanyah was a speaker, and we demand for a decent send-off of the speaker. Anyway, if the COVID-19 affected the economy, we are saying it is okay. Let's leave the state barrier. We can send off Jacob as people of Uganda and send him off peacefully. We don't want to be coming here. The blackmail out there about us leaders, we want money for ourselves. We have collected money to support the decent send-off of Jacob.
Members of the Acholi parliamentary caucus, they are having their say in as far as the decent send-off of the former Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Oulanyah, is concerned. To matters pertaining to security now, and Uganda police has cautioned politicians against misinforming the public about the ongoing disarmament operation Usalama kwa Wote in Karamoja region. Fred Enanga, the police spokesperson, while addressing the media, provided a recap of this operation with intentions of protecting people's lives and their property. Nasir Rubwama gives us more.
Democratic Republic of Congo, that borders Uganda to the west, joined the East African Community Bloc on 29th of March 2020, becoming 7th member partner after decades of failed trials. FDC welcomes DRC to the ESC, emphasizing that with a 92+ million people, assures Ugandan products a potential market. This will also open up job opportunities for people in the ESC countries, thus fostering unity.
The volatile situation in the east of DRC that has resulted to an influx of refugees, mainly into Uganda, needs to be stopped. So this is not about just signing a paper, putting pen on paper, ink on paper, but it's about being honest to each other.
FDC has expressed concern over insecurity in northeast part of the country that is caused by persistent cattle rustling. They want government to extend relief assistance to displaced people.
Information that we have indicates that this cattle raiding has turned into a business. And so we want to challenge the establishment to become very clear on who is doing what in fueling the already bad situation in the region. Our constant call as the FDC is for this regime to cause industrialization of Karamoja, so that raiding is not an option, so that there is no incentive for people to walk hundreds of kilometers to go and steal cows, to go and kill people.
FDC recommends the truth, justice and reconciliation by communities across the border like Pokot, Toposa and Turkana to restore peace. I'm Nafka Farida at Kiijanangoma.
We do apologize for the mix-up of the stories there, but that story was about the Forum for Democratic Change that has welcomed the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, decision to join the East African community, which is an economic opportunity for East African countries to boost the balance of trade. And of course, as you've just watched in that story, that was during a press conference held at Kiijanangoma, the FDC party president, Patrick Boy Amuriat, addressing the press there. Now let's go to that story that we had earlier on introduced, where Uganda police has cautioned politicians against misinforming the public about the ongoing disarmament operation Usalama kwa Wote in Karamoja region. The police spokesperson Fred Enanga, while addressing the media, provided a recap of that operation with intentions of protecting people's lives and their property. Take a watch.
It is coming to 8 months since security agencies launched a disarmament operation Usalama kwa Wote in Karamoja region. The tension between the security and rustlers is becoming unprecedented, claiming the lives of many.
13 warriors were put out of action in the battle in the counter operations with security agencies.
Politicians are cautioned over misinforming the public about this life protection operation. The increasing fighting in this area has compelled natives to protest against this armament exercise.
These accusations that keep coming from the honorable MPs from Karamoja is not done in good faith. They have been working with us and we've been very transparent in our operations. Where they feel that probably there is abuse and so on, we've been working together with them. None of our officers in the field operations is above the law. So these accusations won't help. We simply need to work together and make sure that we restore peace, safety and security in the Karamoja region.
In this operation recap of last week, 90 rustlers were arrested, 7 civilians were killed, and several guns were recovered and ammunitions.
Civilian killed by warriors during the week were 7. Civilians injured by warriors were 2. Security forces, we didn't lose any security forces during the week.
In other development, police have tightened vigilance in the preparation for the burial arrangements of the fallen Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Oulanyah. Police is accusing some opportunists for organizing different groups to protest burial arrangements.
Insightful messages that were being spread on social media platforms, as well as those who were rallying residents from the Acholi sub-region to participate in demonstrations. However, I want to assure all Ugandans that we are prepared and pledged to deliver a very safe, secure and befitting state funeral.
Legislators from the Acholi sub-region gave government an ultimatum to streamline burial arrangements by including tradition leaders and release facilitation in time. Abdul Nasole Lubwama, UBC News.
Still with news pertaining to Karamoja region, the joint forces of the UPDF and police in Karamoja region arrested 8 Kenyan nationals from Turkana area and 6 Madeniko from Moroto for criminal alliance which they used to terrorize Karamoja sub-region. At the 3rd Division headquarters in Moroto, the 3rd Division spokesperson Isaac Yoweri told journalists that they were arrested in a grazing belt in Naputi, Rupa sub-county with 8 guns.
Follow-up of the targeted operations against these criminals.
The joint forces of UPDF and police in Karamoja region have been combing areas of Rupa and Lotisan sub-counties to look for the killers of the 3 geologists and 2 UPDF officers in Lokisile, Lotisan sub-county, Moroto district. At least 8 Turkana Kenyan nationals and 5 Mateniko have been paraded before the press at the 3rd Division headquarters in Moroto municipality. The Turkana were arrested with 6 guns, while Mateniko had 2 guns and rounds of ammunition.
The Turkanas from the neighboring country, Kenya, and the other the Mateniko. Category of the Turkanas were arrested in possession of 6 illegal firearms with a number of ammunition.
It is alleged that the 2 tribes have been terrorizing the region through cattle riding, routings and killings. The Turkana crossed into Uganda with 5 arms, which is contrary to the agreements signed between Uganda and Kenya.
To come and share the natural resources in Kubebe Mega Dam. But since then, and time again, they have always violated this arrangement. They would cross over while armed, cause maim in the Karamoja sub-region, cause alliances with the Mathenicals, and make criminality as their other alternative business other than grazing.
However, the 2 guns which were stolen during the murder of the 3 geologists and UPDF officers were also recovered by Kenyan authorities.
Guns have been recovered, the PK and the SMG, and they are across with our counterparts in Orum, Kenya, the Kenyan government police, and the other suspects. We are still pursuing them.
Meanwhile, security forces say that the situation in Abim district following the early morning demonstration of residents in Kiru and other areas where no vehicles were allowed to cross to or from Abim is calm. This came after one Ongola Fred was killed by suspected Karamoja warriors last evening.
They are reported they had blocked some roads, specifically in Kiru, Ayaro, and Abuko. Those small roads within Abuko Town Council. But our security forces responded swiftly. The situation was contained. The residents were not so violent.
Call upon the leaders to calm down the communities so that they don't take the law within their hands by blocking the road and stopping other movements, because we shall end up stopping the innocent people who are not raiding us. Let's identify the raiders and deal with them accordingly.
Abiona Francisco and Maureen Iga for UBC News.
News Tonight will now take a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
Need to send money to a loved one but you don't have enough on your phone? Have you run out of fuel but you don't have enough money? Do you want to pay for yaka or water but have insufficient funds? Or do you want to shop but you don't have enough money? Don't worry, get away with MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial *165*5*3# to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
When COVID came, it felt like it destroyed everything my mom had built. She was ready to let go of her dreams. But when one door shuts, a window opens. She grabbed her last kamani and took a leap of faith. She refused to give up. So with a bit of daring and grandma's secret recipe, her business was back. And not just bigger, beyond her wildest imagination.
This is a story of a regular Ugandan just like you, who harnessed the power of technology to provide a solution for us. How about you tell us your story? UG needs more of you. To share your story, visit airtel.co.ug/UG needs more of you or call or SMS 162. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back, and you are watching News Tonight here on UBC TV. A warm welcome to those of you just joining us. Moving on, the Executive Secretary of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, Dr. Wokne Gebiehu, has welcomed the signing of an agreement between South Sudan parties to the ARCSS with armed forces to unifying their forces. Dr. Wokne applauded today's agreement as an important milestone towards the full implementation of transitional security arrangements. Dr. Wokne commended His Excellency President Salva Kiir Mayardit and Vice President Riek Machar and the parties to the agreement for the goodwill, and thanked the government of the Republic of Sudan, the chair of IGAD, for brokering the deal. The Executive Secretary calls on all the parties to respect the terms of the agreement. To Isingiro now, where Isingiro district councillors have petitioned the Minister for Local Government, Raphael Majezi, and the State House Anti-Corruption Unit to intervene and transfer the Chief Administrative Officer. They accuse the CAO, Alice Rushure, of corruption, connivance, bribery and misuse of district resources. We have more in this story.
Isingiro district councillors are accusing their Chief Administrative Officer, Alice Rushure, of corruption. The councillors claim that for any head of department at the district to have a requisition approved, a defined amount of money to give to the cow as a kickback has to be agreed on first.
Because there is evidence that when a contractor wants to make a requisition, there is a certain percent he must pay. So that thing has deterred and completely disarranged the system of capital development here.
The scam has left majority of the district projects, including seed schools, to a standstill due to lack of money by contractors to complete the construction of the projects. The schools include Ruborogota Seed School in Isingiro West constituency, Kairuga Primary School in Bukanga North, Nyabiondo Primary School in Bukanga South, Kaberebere, Nyamuyanja Road, among others.
And when they have already gotten contracts, before her approving the requisitions of their payments, if that payment does not include her where she comes in from, those requisitions are always referred back to the heads of departments. So the heads of departments are also crippled.
The Chief Administrative Officer, Alice Rushure, and the District Engineer, Abenaitwe Asf, have been dragged to court by AM and AML Investment Limited.
Corruption is increasing in Isingiro district. Every person is crying. The employees of the districts are complaining. The contractors, some of them have feared to think for the contracts in the districts, because whenever they are awarded the contracts, they are charged a lot of money.
It's a habit of the district engineer to sign certifying that works are done when they are completely incomplete. This is on record.
A contractor of Nyabiondo Primary School in Indizi sub-county decided to close down the school even after the inspection and approval was done by the district officials. In this interview through a phone call, our efforts to get a comment from the Chief Administrative Officer over the matter were futile.
Subscriber is a call does not answer. Please try again later.
If there is any councillor who is accusing the cow over the incompetence, I don't know how they measure incompetence of the office. If you know that maybe you have a clear evidence over corruption, my office is very open. It is not me, it is just not a mere of standing on the camera and you make allegations that the cow is corrupt, is corrupt, is corrupt. We want the empirical evidences.
Basing on these allegations, councillors requested the Minister for Local Government to invoke Section 99 of the Local Government Act to intervene and relieve off the cow from her duties.
So we have the ministers to guide us. Now, what do we do? We have no powers over him. Things have stalled because of that. What do we do? That's why we are calling down the minister. In fact, it must be very assisting for the minister to come here.
Isingiro cow in trouble there. The Minister of Education and Sports has welcomed the Ugandan team from the World Skilling Competition in Namibia. The team of 8 returned home with a bronze medal and has been welcomed by the Commissioner in charge of Business, Technical, Vocational Education and Training, Safina Msene, at Entebbe International Airport.
The team of 5 students participated in 5 major categories of hairdressing, hotel management, tailoring, construction and restaurant operation. Mogirwa Usama, a student from Jinja Vocation Institute, brought a bronze to the country.
Many people despise the department like restaurant service because we were 4 girls and I was 1 man. So many thought I was not going to make it. So the thing I did, I think I've influenced more youth like me that they will also get interested in restaurant service because it is a good service.
The ministry is sponsoring young people in this competition to create exposure and importation of more skills.
The experience they have gained is going to help us to improve, especially in the area of equipment, but also in the area of skills as far as the trainers are concerned. We will use this experience to improve the training of our students in the technical institutions.
Hajat Safina Msene, Commissioner at the ministry, urged private companies to provide opportunities to young people for capacity exhibition.
Our collaboration with them, we have learned that we can deliver what we need in our industries.
Participants are committing to improve their capacities to handle sophisticated machines witnessed in the competition.
People who have been neglected, how they can join TVET, basically to improve their incomes and also unemployment.
Tools like holding that flat iron, it has not been easy for me, but I've tried my level best.
The team is being organized to take part on the next phase of intercontinental skills competition to happen in China towards the end of 2022. Abdul Nasuri Lubwama, UBC News.
Now, residents of Bweyogerere are feeling relieved after overseas China Uganda Charity Foundation constructed water wells in the area. The foundation chairperson Zhong Shuang-Kwan, a Chinese national, encourages fellow investors to provide for people in need. Henry Okrut gives us more.
Until this day, part of what they did here at Kitobi Zone was to search for clean water. The available water sources did not provide clean and safe water for human consumption. The launch of this water well makes the water search history. Both women and children are happy.
A
few meters away is a water source whose environs are risky and a hub for waterborne diseases. This is where locals have been fetching water. Local leadership feels relieved with the launch of the new water well. Just in this neighborhood, still within Bweyogerere, residents welcomed another water well about 3 years ago. They even sacrificed a feeder road for the sake of having clean water.
We have a population of over 10,000 people who do get water from this well.
It is a project that will address the problem of waterborne diseases. Zhong Shuang-Kwan is the chairperson of the Overseas China Uganda Charity Foundation.
So I'm very happy to see that our small contribution has benefited the big community, and I hope that in future we can do more charity activity so that the poor, needed community can benefit from us.
For now, it is a stage in time as residents ask for more, which will take more partners to come on board. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thanks, Henry, for that report there. to Nakasaka district now, where residents of Nakasaka district have appealed to President Yoweri Museveni to reinstate Major John Kadu as the deputy RDC for Nakasaka district. The residents hail Major Kadu for tracking and addressing land issues in the area.
Nakasaka district is known for land grabbing, which has affected residents' livelihoods. But residents of Nakasaka district remember Deputy RDC Major John Kadu for addressing land grabbing.
We have been working together, even together with RDC Kadu, on the land evictions in Nakasaka, and he has been so cooperative, is proactive and active on ground.
Omuntu ne bwamuleetera siringi 10,000 nti ye muzeeyi onoonywamu soda ng'amugaa nti muzeeyi munnange nti Museveni soda amumpa. N'olwekyo batutaase ku lw'obulungi bwa Nakaseke, Major Kadu Joli bamuleke mu kitundu kino.
The 23rd March 2022 reshuffle of RDCs and city resident commissioners did not return Major Kadu's name.
And we had got a chance that RDC, who knows the place, who knows the geography, who knows these people as in place, but now, I don't know if it is true, is no longer URDC.
Kapiteni Kadu John abadde n'akamotoka kadangadi naye n'avuga akamotoka ne kakutuka talina kyalo kyatatuukamu n'alwaniriza abantu okubaddiza ebibanja byabwe abanyagiddwako amataka abannamwandu bamulekwa n'okumubalaizinga abalwanyi mu Uganda yonna kiri ku likodi.
Kati okutuuka ku kiseera nga Nakaseke North, Nakaseke South erimu opposition, Nakaseke Central erimu opposition, kiva ku nkola.
Residents say Major John Kadu helped in addressing land grabbing in Nakaseke district and plead to President Yoweri Museveni to reassign him as RDC Nakaseke district. Major John Kadu, who now lives in Chikandwa Semuto division in Nakaseke district, claims to have a vision to serve the people of Nakaseke, although he believes President Museveni was exercising his constitutional mandate under Section 99 and 203.
A similar trick of just dropping an RDC, whereas His Excellency the President has not himself done it. And by the way, I'm a historic, as I have stated. Historical means una. So we feel we can also serve. And we are still energetic. I'm still energetic, I feel I can, yeah.
Major John Kadu claims to have an agenda of implementing the parish development model.
You just go there, you will see. Parish development model, yeyogerera. Bajja gipiikinga awo. Nga sikitutena screen. Nga bwe bapiikinga omuceere ne gubuna wano, naye egenda kubula.
Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Stakeholders in the transport sector are meeting in Kampala to draw a guidance framework for inclusive, climate-resilient transport. It is aimed at informing government decision when developing road infrastructure to cater for all road users conveniently.
Many African cities, including Uganda's capital Kampala, lack good roads, public transport, and non-motorized transport infrastructure. This, coupled with climate that affects mobility, is the reason why non-government organization High Volume Transport set out on research they intend to finalize soon.
The main purpose is to see that our transport planning is participatory enough and we take care of all categories of people, no matter their social status. We aim at making inclusive transport planning, inclusive meaning that poor, old, young, disabled, pregnant mothers, they can all be able to move safely, but also that they can contribute towards their needs, transportation needs. But the other angle to it is the climate resilient aspect. When it, for instance, rains and floods, when there's climate change, how does that affect mobility? The travel cost goes high, the travel time goes up, and there's inconvenience, and business is not the same at all. So how does this actually affect that person that is disadvantaged?
Ministry of Works and Transport Assistant Commissioner for Road and Air Transport Nelson Luenaga is optimistic. This guidance framework will benefit planning purposes.
We have developed the National Transport and Logistics Policy that has been improved. We also have the non-motorized transport policy, And as I said, we are finalizing the National Integrated Transport Master Plan. These are documents that guide our operations and investments in the sector.
The framework, whose research is also in Zambia, is achieved through various collaborations, notably UK Aid and Stockholm Environment Institute.
Uganda is urbanizing fast, so we find that this becomes a challenge, and that's why it's important we look at how we address these two aspects of inclusiveness when planning for transportation, and second, having climate resilient factored in transport infrastructure planning.
The workshop was attended by most stakeholders in Uganda's transport system, including KCCA and taxi and border operators that seek timely information.
Climate updates. Nti enkuba egenda kutonnya budde bugenda kuba bunnyogoga agundi degrees zigenda kubeera bweziti omuntu osobola okuva ewaka nga weesabise bulungi nnyo.
The research is expected to be complete by August 2022 and submitted to authority to help implementation to aid the disadvantaged groups.
Today in history.
On this day in 1978, Amin announced that he would institute a human rights committee after his government came under pressure to stop human rights violations. While addressing the Uganda Law Society members, Amin said the committee would be charged with explaining Uganda's position abroad and advise him on the human rights situation in the country. He also suggested the committee to be under the Ministry of Justice and coordinate with the United Nations Human Rights Commission.
This is how we play. Play with power.
This is how we do it.
How we put a team together. This is how we pass on greatness. Because with this team to inspire us, there's nothing we can't do.
Go for goals and win. Buy a Pepsi glass bottle or Pepsi Max 330 ml. Check another crown and win soda, TVs, caps, t-shirts and cash. Redeem prizes at any Pepsi depot or truck countrywide. Terms and conditions apply. Pepsi, for the love of it.
Choose our with Airtel Money Quick Loans. Get a top-up loan when you have insufficient funds to buy airtime, pay utility bills, or make payments at a local supermarket. Complete your transaction and pay later. Dial *185*7*10# to opt in. Get an Airtel Money Quick Loan and pay later. Choose our with Airtel Money Quick Loans in partnership with Housing Finance Bank and powered by Yabex. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back, and let's have a look now at what's happening in the world of business. As Ramadan enters the third day, prices of essential commodities used to break the fast are worryingly high. Our reporter Saddam Mubale was at different markets in Kampala to assess the situation and now reports.
It is now 3 days since the Muslim community started fasting in the holy month of Ramadan, but the prices of commodities for basic commodities used during the time of breaking the fast are skyrocketing. Some of the key commodities like dates now cost 20,000, up from 10,000 shillings per packet. 4 passion fruits cost 1,000 from previously 10. Watermelon, which was previously at 1,500, is now at 5,000. And a bunch of mangoes cost 5,000 from previously 2,000.
Our food is matoke. We eat potatoes, and we so much use rice, tomatoes, onions. All these things, if you see now in the market, it has already gone up, and we do not have control over the market. We cannot bring down the market. We cannot ask the Mufti to tell the people that please reduce your prices because we are in Ramadan. We don't have those control.
Meno ninge no ebade gulanga sirinje 13
naye kati saawa eno eri ku kanaana.
Tebyakyuse Rachel naye transport kati yali waggulu luli embokisi zibadde nga zigira ssente entonotono naye kati olwa transport olw'amafuta okulinnya transport kati oli box gyali bamuleetera 5,000 e Kampala bagimuleetera 8 oba 1,000 kati naye bw'atuuka wano alina kwongeramu bbeeyi.
Food commodity prices like rice have also witnessed an increase of 30%, with rice which has been costing 3,500 now at 4,000. Cooking oil costs 9,500 per litre, up from 5,500, and wheat flour 6,500 from 5,500 previously.
Tusaba government etuyambe mutusaasire kubanga okusiba muntu ng'osiba ate emino nga bigenza ate tunasibuloka tutya. Etusaba ne bannaffe abali mu butale tubasaba mwenna namwe abalimi musaasire kubanga Rasulullah tugamba nti irhamani fi dunya yarhamukum man fi sama, nti buli mwana Adamu waali yenna asaasire ebitonde biri muno mu nsi.
Now, the Central Corridor of Tanzania has unveiled a new digital tool that is aimed at facilitating regional trade through monitoring the route performance. The toolkit informs interventions geared towards reducing costs and delays in cargo transportation on the corridor, which serves 5 East African Community member states, among them Uganda. Dennis Sigoa reports.
The digital corridor performance monitoring tool will help tackle delays in cargo transportation, reduce costs and other related transport and logistics challenges. It was unveiled at the first physical consultative meeting by the Central Corridor Transit Transport Facilitation Agency in 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
It will assist in timely and reliable information on trade facilitation activities along the Central Corridor, quicker identification and resolution of any arising inefficiencies along the Central Corridor. It will enhance indicator portal that is more interactive, dynamic and efficient.
What we are talking about, we are a corridor that is changing its image, a corridor that is changing its narrative.
Some of the key issues that were highlighted and need urgent attention include lengthy cargo dwell time at the port, delays of goods on transit, harmonization of axle loads and road user charges, and installation of cargo tracking and monitoring system on the route.
The Central Corridor, they have reduced barriers. The issue we have now with Central Corridor is to see the issue of the road toll, because the road toll has been there for 10 years.
For the Central Corridor to cement its position as the route of choice for the region, boosting efficiency, affordability, and curbing bureaucratic tendencies is vital.
If the road is not very good and the trucks are taking too long to drive towards the destination, despite the fact that the distance is not long, also it does not serve. If there are so many stoppages on the way, so many blocks, roadblocks, also the corridor cannot perform.
As of this year, transporting a container from Dar es Salaam to Kigali takes about 6 days and a cost of about 3,000 USD. This has a very high impact to exert a very heavy burden on production and hinder access of countries' exports to global markets.
Uganda is one of the 5 East African Community countries that rely on the port of Dar es Salaam for importation as well as exportation. Key performance indicators show increased cargo traffic on the route by road through Mutukula border with an estimated 100 trucks a day and regular shipments through the port of Luzira. Dennis Sigoa for UBC News in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
Connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone and enjoy free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 Uganda shillings. That's free 2 GB for the first month and free 1 GB for the next 11 months at only 200 250,000 Uganda shillings with free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 shillings only. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Sports news now, and we begin with chess, where the 2021-2022 Uganda Premier Bet Chess League has climaxed with Chireka A emerging triumphant. John Sentamu gives us more.
After a pulsating season that had 14 rounds, the 2021-2022 Uganda Premier Bet Chess League has climaxed. The closing round, like all others, was at Kiwatule Recreational Ground. Going into the final round, two teams, Kireka A and Dimak Club, were level on 36 points. Kireka A edged Ginger Knights, while Dimak bettered Uganda Institute of Allied Health. And this tied the teams to 39 points, requiring a tiebreaker that decided in favor of Kireka A.
Our trick today was having a better organized team. We would call ourselves during the week and organize our team to know who best suits to face which other player of the other team.
We are going to maintain our high standards and ensure that we actually finish the top two. Yeah, this time we had two teams in the classical league, where we had the best team obviously, and then the other finished I think around 6th. Yeah, but we are planning to have both teams be 1-2 come next league.
Uganda Chess Federation President Emmanuel Mwaka was impressed by quality of play despite the COVID-19 threat.
The quality that we see in the league trickles down into a smaller number that goes to play in the round robin, and we are glad that all participate in the league.
The league sponsors promised to not only improve funding but also grow the sport throughout the country.
Yes, we do plan to put in more money.
This season's league had 40 teams and included players from as far as Somalia and Kenya.
We started this league in 2019. This is our second time. We have participated in Ugandan Chess League, and of course it is a tough league. Players are tough, and they have, especially the top players have high ratings than us.
In the Classical League, Mulago Kings finished third, while Kireka A won the rapid version, and Dimak beat all others in the Bliss category. John Barnes, Sentamu, reporting.
Uganda Judo Federation President Captain Musitwa Mulasa has confirmed Uganda's plan to host the East Africa Judo Championship. The 4-day championship that will start on the 21st of April in Kampala is expected to be contested by, among others, Zanzibar, Kenya, Burundi, Ethiopia, the DRC, Sudan and South Sudan. While the Federation believes this championship will help Uganda, it is still cash-strained. And finally, St. Peter's School has triumphed at the inaugural Sumian Venkatesh Memorial Women Kabaddi Championship that was hosted at the MTN Arena, Lugogo. Sumian Venkatesh was the chairperson of the Indian Women Association and played a big role in the establishment of the sport in Uganda.
The first ever Sumian Venkatesh Memorial Kabaddi Championship has climaxed with the St. Peter's School beating St. Noah 44-20 in the final.
The games have been so interesting because teams have come and they've participated very well. They have shown the good performance.
Presence of all the 7 teams invited was the first success story, and this was amplified by the level of competition that has inspired the Federation to target higher.
Yes, we are planning a school championship which will be next term, and we are in current talks with the different sponsors to host the game accordingly, and also looking at Uganda Cup in progress.
Though the Kabaddi sport is age-old, in Uganda it's just set foot, and thus relevance of Federation Secretary General Edgar Mujuni to explain at least how scores are made.
You touch on 2 or 3 people, you catch them, and you manage to escape from them and cross the center line, maybe even with a small hand, that's how you score. You can also score in a bonus point. When defenders are 6 or 7 on court and a raider steps over a bonus line, it is a bonus point.
The Kiboko-sponsored championship was graced by 7 teams including Springfield High School, Kololo High, Murusa Academy, Mavo Secondary School, Matuga High School, and Noah's Ark Matuga. John Barnes, Centamo, reporting.
And that story almost brings us to the end of this first edition of News Tonight. But before we leave you, let's have a recap of our top stories.
Brought to you by
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Now, top stories tonight. Government phases out old machine-readable passports for e-passports. Parliament finalizes preparations to receive the body of late Speaker Jacob Ulanya. Prices of commodities tripled during Ramadan. And in sports, Sikireka A wins classical and rapid versions as D-Mark triumph in Bliss.
Was brought to you by Everywhere you go, MTN.
And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company. Remember, our next and final edition of News Tonight comes your way at 10 p.m. where we shall meet you. But let's leave you with a weather forecast for tomorrow, and then I'll see you at 10.
Hello there. Thank you very much for watching UBC News. A very warm welcome to tonight's weather report. My name is Kiijanangoma. Now let's start it off with our 24-hour report. Well, we've had rains across several places within the country. Even today afternoon, we did see rains across several places. Also throughout last night into the early hours of today morning, we did see rains across most areas, and Bududa was reporting a total of 12.5 millimeters. We also had 6.2 that was across Mobende, and Kasese was reporting 5.4 millimeters of rainfall. Now looking at our satellites, we still have low pressure systems south of our continent, and because of that we have seen that most of the rain-bearing clouds have moved further away from our country, and also at the same time we do have those dry winds that are still coming from north of the continent towards the country. Now a combination of that is what is keeping us with reduced wet weather activities. However, tomorrow morning we do forecast to start off with a little bit of rains. Those will be mostly in form of isolated showers across the islands of Lake Victoria as well as the western side of Lake Victoria. We will have sunny intervals for much of the southern sector. However, a sunny morning is forecast across West Nile, northern Uganda, the Karamoja area as well as the eastern part of the country. Now later as the day progresses, we do expect to see more rains developing across parts of midwestern Uganda, southwestern as well as the Lake Victoria basin. Otherwise, the rest of the country will maintain intervals of sunny and cloudy conditions. Now daytime highs, we're likely to have temperatures rise up to 30. That will be across Masaka. Kampala, you'll be at 29. We're likely to have temperatures rise up to 33. That will be across West Nile as well as parts of central northern Uganda. But even hotter than that, for the Karamoja region, we'll see temperatures moving up to 34 degrees centigrade. Kabale Highlands, we are forecasting temperatures to be at a cool 25 degrees centigrade. Some of the wild cities that we have for you, we're forecasting sunny intervals across Cairo, very hot weather across that area. We'll have temperatures rising up to 40 degrees centigrade for tomorrow. Paris will be with rainy conditions, same across New York. We're also forecasting sunny intervals that will be across Dubai, and cloudy weather is forecast for London with temperatures going up to 15 degrees centigrade. Now with that, we come to you tonight's weather report. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Kiijanangoma. Have a good night.
Brought to you by
We're here to build because at the end of the day, we're truly Ugandan.
Need to send money to a loved one but you don't have enough on your phone? Have you run out of fuel but you don't have enough money? Do you want to pay for yaka or water but have insufficient funds? Or do you want to shop but you don't have enough money? Don't worry, get away with MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial *165*5*3# to apply. MTN Momo Advance.